Salve, salve rapaziada, bem-vindos a mais um react de setups e hoje a gente vai reagir aqui a um setup de um gringo. O canal dele é Scorpio Tech e o mais legal desse setup é que o quarto dele é pequeno, tem pouco espaço. Não tanto, né? Vocês vão ver aí, mas tipo, pro padrão gringo, realmente ele tem um quarto bastante pequeno e fez um setup lindaço. Olha só, cara, essa maravilha, né? Um preview aí do setup dele. Então vamos acompanhar aqui, lembrando, link do canal dele e também desse vídeo na descrição, rapaziada. E se vocês tiverem alguma sugestão, deixem aí nos comentários, beleza?
Hello everyone and welcome
Deixei a legenda ligada e o gatinho já meteu um miranha ali. Ó, uma parada que já dá pra perceber. Ele tem ali o canto do console com o PlayStation 5 de um lado e eu acho que tem um Xbox Series X do outro lado esquerdo. E logo em seguida já vem o setup PC Gamer. Com mais prateleiras, teclado customizado. E já tem um preview aí de como tá o setup dele, lindaço. Então agora acho que ele vai falar um pouco sobre o canal. Eu vou dar uns pulos aí, galera, uns cortes. Quem quiser acompanhar tudo aí na íntegra, tá o link na descrição. Vamos lá, setup 2023. Gostei muito do mousepad também. Ele preencheu bem a parede também, né? Colocou bastante coisa ali. Ele tem um tablet.
The iPad Pro 11-inch 4th generation featuring the incredible Apple M2 chip. And of course I also had to pick up the second generation
dispositivo, né? Tem uma Alexa, iPhone, Apple Watch.
That I got from Amazon, which also doubles as a stand.
Ainda colocou uma velhinha.
And as always, I will be linking to all of these.
Ficou legal essa parte aí, ó, que dá pra você colocar o iPhone, o Apple Watch e também AirPods, né? Ali tudo nessa base e fica carregando, maneiro. E galera, uma parada que eu tô a fim de fazer, eu recentemente montei um canal falando sobre musculação, sobre atividade física, né? Não um canal, mas lá no Instagram, e eu queria testar, começar a testar a smartwatch. Queria saber de vocês o que vocês acham disso. Testar a Vera, no caso. Fazer mais corridas e tal.
Which is housing my AirPod Pros that I honestly couldn't live without anymore, my brand new Apple Watch Series 8, which was an upgrade from the Series 3, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which I'm currently using to record this video, so I'm showcasing an 11 Pro Max here instead. Moving on, we have the somewhat outdated third generation Echo Dot that I used to control pretty much all of the lights in my room, as well as the Epic Govee Aura smart lamp. Once again, I utilize Govee for the majority of the ambient lighting in my setup, but you'll see more of that as we move through the tour. And I honestly couldn't recommend the Govee Aura enough. It's reasonably priced, packed full of awesome features, and has a great app that gives you full control over the brightness, colors, and scenes. Moving on up, we have this really neat Game Boy wall art from a company called Grid. It's a device that was made in the year I was born and commemorates my personal journey growing up with games. They also do a bunch more of these with various consoles and controllers if you're interested. Next up, we have my somewhat
teclado ali no meio da parede.
Idea of sticking a keyboard to the wall because why not? It's essentially just functioning like a giant fidget toy right now, but I think it looks cool, so whatever. Inside the drawers I keep some commonly used items such as keys. Aí, ó, uma dica pro Scorpio é colocar uma espuma e fazer o recorte direitinho de cada parada que ele coloca ali na gaveta, né? Porque isso aí eu acho que ele só deixou assim organizado pro vídeo. Qualquer esbarrão que ele dá ali deve bagunçar tudo de novo. A Ridge wallet, glasses, karambit, power bank, notepad, books, and a few other bits and bobs as well. Moving over to the wall, then I have two IKEA pegboards placed vertically with various hooks, trays, and containers. They come in a selection of sizes, but these ones are the 36 by 56 centimeter boards, and I love their simplicity and functionality. After getting these installed, the area felt a bit dark, so I opted for a LifeX beam running vertically next to the boards to give off some nice and highly customizable ambient lighting, which is once again app or voice controlled. This cap was from an awesome experience at Silverstone Racing Circuit last year thanks to a great event put on by Asus. I got to drive a bunch of supercars around the track and test out the latest and greatest tech that they produce, and it was truly a day and experience that I'll never forget. So at the bottom of the pegboards I have three small containers that I currently use for spare switches in case I change or build a new keyboard. Above that I have some of my personal favorite keyboards in my collection.
É uma parada que eu gostaria que tivesse aqui no mercado nacional, uns pegboards assim, desse jeito mais estilizado. personalizados.
Starting at the bottom, I have the Varmelo
Já com as
Yakimo,
paradinhas, né, pra
then
gente
the
guardar
drop
aqui
Enter,
cap
and
e
then the
tal.
recently reviewed Owlet F68 at the top. Sat above
Caraca,
that is
ele
the
colocou
2020 MacBook Pro with the M1
MacBook
chip.
Pro
Although I
ali
don't use
no
it that often
pegboard.
anymore, it has been a
Não deve nem
must-have
usar,
for
galera,
traveling
porque ele
and
já tem o iPad,
portability.
o PC,
Saying that though, since I got hold of the
consoles.
M2 iPad Pro, I hardly use it, so I may consider selling it in the near
Desses
future.
teclados aí eu
On the shelf
não
above, I have
conheço
the
nenhum.
Nikon D3200 camera that I use when traveling and for most of my
Essa câmera é
Instagram product
antiga.
posts and YouTube thumbnails.
Já tive
As always,
uma
I've changed
dessa,
around the
parecida.
posters, and this year I've gone for some Japanese themed ones, and I really love how they look on the wall. Right, guys? And last but not least
Aí,
for this
ó,
area
aí
is
dá
the
pra ver legal o tamanho dessa parede do quarto. Realmente ela é bem curtinha, ó. Já tem ali a porta, um gaveteiro, cama de solteiro, que ele já inclusive colocou LED, né, atrás. E ali tem os quadros, tudo preenchido, né? Tentou preencher ao máximo e otimizar o espaço.
The new cushions I got
Interessante,
from
ó.
B&M,
Uma
they're
ideia
cheap,
pra vocês
comfy,
pegarem.
and well, that's all you
Aí a
need
cama
really.
dele.
I had a few questions last year about the bed, and this is the Bergamo USB bed frame that I got from Benson's for
Oi,
beds.
é
It's
uma
nothing
câmera
too
que
special, but it
tem
does look pretty great
conector
in
USB
my
ali.
opinion. And of course, for
Legal.
the main room light, I'm using the Govee Smart Bulb, all of which will be linked down below. And onto some more lights.
Uma
Yep, you
lâmpadazinha
guessed
da
it, it's
Govee.
Govee again. Around the room, under
Isso é
the
atrás
bed, and on
da...
the shelving units, I've used two sets of 10
Ah, não, ele
meter
colocou
Govee
embaixo.
RGB IC strips, which I control via the Apple voice controls to change between a plethora of colors and scenes. Although Govee have become a little more
ali
expensive
num
over the
cantinho dá pra
years,
ver
I
os
think they
pontos,
have
né,
the
dos
ideal
LEDs.
middle ground between good
Ficou
quality
tão
and an
perfeitinho.
attractive price point, making them a great choice for gaming setups. If you've
Mas é
been watching
maneiro.
the
Eu colocaria na minha cama, embaixo, tá ligado?
few setup
Eu acho
tours,
que
then
ficou
you know
maneiro.
what's coming next. It's of course the classic Scorpio texture
colocariam,
blanket
galera,
that I
LED
truly
embaixo da
believe is
cama?
an essential part of any functioning setup. Although it
Eu
is
achei
summer
maneiro.
right now and I absolutely want this thing
Ó,
nowhere
a TV
near me,
também
but
tá
it
com
is
LED
super
atrás,
soft
bastante
and ideal
LED.
for winter. And with that
Tem mais
said,
dando
let's
ali
move on
naquela
to the
partezinha
TV and
da
console area that's seen a
parede.
big overhaul in the lighting and immersion department. So this shelving unit under the TV is a Locker 9 cube unit from
Cara, é
B&M
muito
here
pequeno
in the
mesmo o
UK,
quarto.
and it's
Pensei que ia
honestly
ser maior,
ideal, especially considering the
pelas
space
fotos.
constraints I have.
Essas paradinhas de LED também é interessante, ó, galera. Só que essa daí dele é muito grandona, né? Ocupa muito espaço. Mas é legal pra enfeitar o setup.
It allows me to
Eu já vi
showcase
isso
the
sendo
Xbox
vendido no
Series
Ali.
X, Switch and PS5 in a nice way.
E ele colocou tipo do Xbox verde, né? Do Nintendo vermelho
the cubes are ideal for
e do
having easy
PlayStation
access to
5
the games
azul.
and controllers. Now this might surprise
Aí,
you,
ó.
but these lights are one of my favorite upgrades this year. In previous years, I've used battery-powered lights, so it either meant buying new batteries or constantly recharging them. So instead, I found these
Caraca,
USB
ainda tem
rechargeable
controlezinho.
lights on Amazon, and they are brilliant. I would highly recommend getting
Então
some
vende
of
na
these
Amazon
lights for
também.
either shelves or a unit
Eu vou ver
like
se eu
this.
consigo o
To get
link
the
e coloco
power
na
and
descrição,
HDMI
galera.
cables to the Switch, I made a small hole at
Que eu
the
achei
base of the
maneiro, uma
center
dica
cube
maneira
so
pra
that
quem
the
quer
cables remain hidden,
deixar o
but I
nicho
can
ali
also
mais
quickly swap between the
bonitinho, né?
handheld and docked
E
mode.
tem bateria,
Another
não
rapid
precisa
fire
ficar
recommendation, if you need a
colocando
Switch
cabo.
case, just get this one. It's the TomTok carry case from Amazon, and it's cheap, strong, has game storage, and well, I don't know what else, but just buy it. And a
O que
quick
que é
note,
ali
since
embaixo do
everyone
Xbox
complains,
Series
the
X? Não
PS5 has
entendi.
more room than it
Que
looks,
isso
so
aí?
please stop telling me it's going to choke to death. It's
Ah, é
fine.
uma...
I don't really know if it's fine. I
Que?
just don't use it.
Ah, isso não é uma geladeira, é?
Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes, the lighting. So I've introduced quite a lot of Philips Hue products this year to my setup, including the sync box, play bars, and the gradient reactive strip on the TV itself. These have completely leveled up the immersion experience with the strip lighting up the top and sides of the screen and the play
conector de
bars
energia ali
lighting up
pra caber
underneath.
tudo
In the
isso.
center, I'm still using these same old PlayStation icons lights, but I really like the glow they give off without cluttering up the space. And of course, on top of the unit, I have some IKEA artificial
Plantinha, né, que não
trees,
podia
a
faltar.
Master Chief Funko Pop for Xbox, and an Aloy Funko Pop for PlayStation. Another new addition for 2023 is these awesome Govee Hex panels. What I love about these is that they not only look great when in use, but also don't look hideous when turned off. In many ways, they are similar to the Nanoleaf light panels that I already have and act as a wall feature as well as having excellent lighting functionality. One cool thing about these though is that the light can emit from underneath the panels, which gives it a sort of underglow and lights up the surrounding wall very nicely. I briefly mentioned the Philips Hue upgrades earlier, but now let's take a closer look at the huge lighting and immersion overhaul that I've had. So this setup consists of the Hue bridge, sync box, 2 play bars and a 55-inch gradient light strip, and don't get me wrong, it is very expensive, but the results are just
essa
fantastic.
TV tem ambilight,
Movies and
né?
games are really taken to the next level with this
Isso aí é
lighting
bem
immersion,
maneiro.
which can all be
O bom é que a cama dele tem ali lugarzinho pra sentar, pra deitar, né?
TV.
Fica
And
bem,
over a
bem de
year
boa
on, I could
pra
not be
jogar.
happier with its quality and
Cabeceira.
performance. It's perfect for games and movies with its 4K resolution and 120Hz refresh rate, which means means I can get the most out
Ela é
of the
4K,
latest
120
console.
Hz.
And of course, being an OLED panel means it has true blacks, which make for an awesome viewing experience. Even in 2023, I would highly recommend the LG C1 OLED or the C2 if you wanted to get the updated model if you're in the market for a new TV. As for the audio, I have the TV paired with the Samsung HWK450 soundbar with the subwoofer underneath the bed. It's honestly starting to feel like my own personal cinema at this point, and I'm all for it, especially considering the lack of space I have available. So with the trio of TV, audio and lighting combining to make the best entertainment experience I've ever had, let's just see some quick samples of it all in action.
Um trecho ali que provavelmente tem direitos autorais, galera. Então eu vou passar. Ó, legal, hein, galera? Esse visual. E a mesa dele é bem pequena, deve ter ali, sei lá, 1,20 m no máximo.
Very exciting. We'll take a look at the beast on the desk very shortly, but let's quickly run through.
Gostei desse mousepad dele. Tem ali a marca no cantinho.
My current keyboard is the Vissels V84, which is ideal for both gaming and video editing, especially when combined with my favorite Luigitec custom keycap and this gorgeous custom-made blue wrist rest. And as I mentioned before, I will leave all of the links to everything mentioned down in the description. As for the mouse, this is the Razer Basilisk V3 Pro in white, and I can't get enough of it. I've paired this with the Carpio 2.0 white wrist rest glide from Delta Hub, which really helps with wrist fatigue after long sessions. All of which is sat on top of this beautiful...
Ficou bonito. É uma parada que eu queria saber se vale a pena esse apoio de pulso ali para mouse. Vocês já usaram isso, galera? Mas eu creio que é só pra mexer no dia a dia mesmo. Pra jogar não tem como ficar com aquele negócio, ele vai atrapalhar. Stream Deck branquinho. Ah, ele fez um furinho. É isso que eu falo, ó. Teclado mecânico não precisa ser sem fio, cara. Sempre tem um jeito ali de você escolher os cabos ou usar o cabo Quiet, que vai ficar mais bonito. Gostei do wallpaper da Ash.
For many years. And so it is time. You will have already noticed one big,
basicão, né? Assim, a estrutura do setup simples. A parede de trás está pintada de cinza. E ele colocou uma fita de LED atrás. Assim, a parte do setup em si é bem básico. A não ser esse monitor de 45 polegadas, 240 Hz OLED. Caraca, olha a curvatura desse monitor. Absurdo. Que eu saiba, não tem aqui no Brasil. 1440p.
And this was actually the first time I've used a curved monitor, and I absolutely get the hype now. The Ultra Gear monitor is packed full of incredible features such as its built-in lighting zones, various picture-in-picture modes, buttery smooth 240Hz refresh rate, peak brightness of 1000 nits, OLED display, response time of 0.03 milliseconds, HDR10, its near borderless display, as well as being G-Sync and FreeSync compatible. The list honestly just goes on and on, with many of the features being tailored towards giving you the absolute best possible gaming experience. Not to mention, this is the first 240Hz OLED gaming monitor on the market, which is really paving the way for future immersive gaming experiences. Thanks to the various connection options and the picture-in-picture modes available, you can use this single monitor the same way that you would use dual monitors, which is incredibly useful, especially for the way I like to use my PC. All of this can easily be changed in seconds thanks to the included remote control, which really takes your multitasking to another level, even if that does mean playing two games at the same time or something ridiculous. And that's just some of the features. In person, this monitor looks absolutely sensational. Thanks to OLED, MLA and Meta technology, this monitor produces some incredible visuals without hindering the performance. All of this together means a vibrant, bright and clear image with its 1.5 1:1 contrast ratio and a 98.5% color gamut. And if things couldn't get any more immersive, I've also gone Philips Hue crazy and installed 2 more play bars and a PC light strip onto the back of the 45-inch beast. Philips Hue now has an app for PC, so in this case there was no need for an extra sync box, and there was also no frame rate restrictions. With the play bars facing down and the light strip lighting up the wall, I was ready to experience truly immersive gaming. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been so used to apps being awful these days that I was pleasantly surprised with how good the Philips Hue app was. You can easily change between sync modes, brightness levels and scenes at the click of a button. Combining the epic monitor with the Hue lighting makes for some absolutely awesome gaming experiences. Red Dead 2, Forza, Crab Game, you name it, literally everything feels more enjoyable with this massively immersive
eu creio que assim, ele joga esses games que se beneficiam do ultrawide no monitor e o restante deve jogar no nos consoles.
Having two monitors, and whilst that may be the case in some aspects, the benefits of having
Tipo
the
jogo
45-inch
de
ultra
corrida,
curved OLED make me
jogo
look past the
de
original
futebol,
doubts that
deve
I
ficar bom
had.
também.
It
Não
just
sei
feels
se por
like
causa
every
da
aspect of
curvatura.
this monitor was designed to give you the best
Fica
possible
bom, tá?
gaming experience. It's also my first
Que jogo é esse, cara?
240Hz monitor, and I'm really
Caranguejo.
scared that I won't handle
Aí, ó,
dropping back down to
Fifinha, deve ficar
165Hz if I ever go back to my dual monitor setup. The monitor can also be wall mounted,
Ah,
but for now I've
Minecraft.
left it on its original stand as it offers height and tilting options on every axis. The monitor also has cable management
Esse
options
monitor não
on
tem
the
aqui no
back, which
Brasil,
allow me to keep the desk
pelo que eu
clean
saiba.
without any visible cables. And moving on over to the PC, there hasn't been much of a change
Vamos
here
ver
at all,
PC,
apart
vamos
from
ver
the
as
fact that my
configurações.
Corsair fan lights aren't working properly anymore, so I'll have to consider changing those in the near future.
Tem
But apart from that, it's still
gabinete da
running
Corsair.
fantastically well and handles everything that I throw at it. For those of you that don't know, I'm running an i9-9900K overclocked to 5
E
GHz, an
9900K,
Asus ROG
PC
RTX
antigo, né?
3080, 32GB of
Uma Asus
DDR4
RTX
Corsair Vengeance
3080.
RGB RAM, all of which is housed in the Corsair Crystal 570X case.
Não tão
If you want to
antigo,
have a
mas
look at the
tipo...
full spec list, I have it in my Discord server, so make sure you drop in and say hi.
Também
Now, I
porque
was
ele tem
very
pouco
tempted
espaço,
to
acho que
change the
ficaria
PC
ruim
this year
ele
just for the
ali,
setup tour, but
gabinete
considering it's
muito largo,
performing
né?
so well and I still like the look of it, I
Precisaria
thought
ser
I'd make the
gabinete com
financially
torre
sensible
única, assim.
decision of sticking with it for now.
PS5
And you thought
cover.
I was done with Govee, did you? Well, you're very wrong. This is one of the Govee neon rope lights, and I decided to replace my 5-year-old RGB strip on the desk with
E
it,
dá-lhe
and I'm
Govee,
very
né,
glad
também,
I
de novo.
did. It's a fully customizable, pre-diffused light strip that has
É,
some
ele não falou
excellent
ali o
features. It has
tamanho
a
da mesa
fantastic
dele.
brightness level, high-quality design, great app control, and can also be cut to size. As for the desk,
Mas é
this is
estilo
the
IKEA,
IKEA
né?
Linmon, which is unfortunately discontinued now, but it is a 150 by 75 centimeter desk,
Ah, não, agora
and
ele
the
tá
drawers,
falando.
of course, are both the
É
IKEA Alex
1,50
drawers
por
because I'm
75.
basic like that. In the top drawer, I keep some handy tech such as mice and phones, including the G Pro
É, então
X
tem
Superlight
espaço
and the
bastante,
Redmi Note
1,50 é
12 Plus. In the
bom
second drawer, I
espaço.
have a selection of handheld consoles and games such as the classic DS, 3DS, as well as the very underrated
Ainda tem
PS
uns
Vita. I also have
consoles
the RGB
antigos.
Spotlight remote in here, as well as this incredibly handy Haley cool rechargeable battery pack for Xbox controllers, which is a game changer. On the opposite side,
Bom,
I have
hein,
my
o
utility drawer,
gaveteiro.
which has the BenQ Halo screen bar remote, which automatically activates when I open the drawer.
Isso
The
aí é
Halo
pra
screen bar is an
controlar
essential part in my setup ever since I first
light
used
bar.
it. It lights up the entire desk and is a great light source for my unboxing
É, aí no caso faltava uma light bar curva, né, pro
videos,
monitor.
as well as when generally
Pra
working
acompanhar,
at the
mas é da
desk. The
Bank.
remote allows you to easily change between
É
the
explicado
brightness
por que
levels
ele não
and
vai
the warmth
trocar.
of the light, as well as a couple of other options, and this is definitely a product that I would highly recommend. Inside the drawer, I've got your typical content such as pens, an electric screwdriver, notepads, cable ties, karambits, and just that sort of thing really. In the other drawers, I have a bunch of cables, controllers, and paperwork, as well as a bunch of cable management and cleaning products that I use often to keep things neat and tidy. As for headphones, I'm still rocking the
Fone dele
Bear
é brabo.
Dynamic DT990 Pros, although I recently did replace the headband and earpads. I absolutely adore these headphones, but I am going to be testing out the Razer Black Shark V2 Pros in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. As you can see, I've put a
Tá pra
lot of
testar
effort
o
into the
Razer
cable
Black
management to keep the underside of the desk as
Black Shark
cable-free
V2.
as possible. I work on the out of sight, out of mind
Ó, legal
theory, so as long as
como
I
ele
can't
organizou
see
o
them,
cabo,
they
ele
don't
colocou
exist.
tubo,
To hide
galera.
the cables the best I can, I've used some
Passando
D-line
tudo, né?
cable trunking, which is drilled into the underside of the desk, as well as a lot of cable ties and
Esse tubo aí
planning.
deve
The chair
vender.
I'm using is
Não
the
deve ser difícil de
autonomous
achar,
Ergo
não.
Chair Pro, which is ideal for me with its
E a
massive
cadeira é
ergonomic
muito legal.
options and stylish design that I
Ergonômica.
think fits my room very nicely. The real
Combinou
reason
com o
is that
setup
Maya
dele
loves
também,
it and
tem
she gets more
esses
use out
partes
of it than I do. But yeah,
amarelo,
it's a
mas o
really
gato
great
vai
chair and I could definitely recommend it if you're in the
acabar com a
market for
cadeira
an
rápido.
ergonomic office style chair. And with that said, we're now nearing the end of the 2023 small room setup tour, but I will answer a few questions that I had from last year's video. The first of which was about the size
E é
of
isso.
the room. So this is a box room which measures
E tá
about
finalizando.
2.3 by 2.3
Assim, interessante,
meters.
o quarto
This
é
is
bem
very
pequeno,
restrictive and makes it very hard to work with, but with some sacrifices
mas
I'm
ele
very happy
conseguiu
with the outcome. The next
otimizar
question
bem
was
o
about the
espaço.
wall color. So the paint I used was called Cloud, and it's essentially a mid to light
E
grey
ficou
color
bonito
which
também, né?
reflects the lighting very, very nicely. And there we are, the end of the 2023 small room setup
O
tour.
gatinho
Thank
querendo
you so much
perturbar.
for being patient with me this year. This video has taken an unbelievable amount of planning, putting together, recording, editing and scripting, so I would really appreciate if you got this far in the video,
Olha.
if you could leave a like, comment and even consider
Esse eu nunca
subscribing
tinha
for
visto,
more
não.
videos. I would also
O
love for
cara
you to join
gosta
the
de
Scorpio
controle.
Tech Community Discord server. It's definitely the easiest way to get in touch with me if you have any questions. If you'd like to
E é
take
isso,
it to the next
rapaziada.
level
Vamos
and
encerrar
support
aqui
me
com o
further, please
gatinho
consider becoming a
escalando
Scorpio
a
Tech
cadeira
YouTube
ergonômica
channel
dele.
member or leaving me a tip on Ko-fi,
Gostei do
which is
setup,
linked
achei um
down below.
setup
Thank you all
simples
so
até
much
assim,
for
né,
watching
na
this video. I
estrutura,
really hope
mas
it was
muito bem pensado e preenchido. As paredes estão todas preenchidas, bastante LED, mesmo com pouco espaço ele conseguiu implementar LEDs em tudo quanto é canto e tudo sincronizado, né? Então é isso, rapaziada. Espero que vocês tenham gostado aí do vídeo. Deixa o seu like. Também, se tiver uma sugestão, pode mandar lá no Insta. Grande abraço, até o próximo. Valeu e fui!